Drink beer, it's good for you.
Hello and welcome to the video. In this video we'll be looking at two upgrades released in 2022 for Grainfather's G30 brewing system. Both of these have been created based on customer feedback, which is always great, and it is also great to see that Grainfather is still supporting their original brewing system. So let's get started. Firstly, say hello to the new Gcast. The Gcast was created based on overwhelming customer requests for a way to update the G30 with a Wi-Fi controller. Grainfather did consider adding a Wi-Fi chip to the existing G30 Connect controller, or perhaps doing a complete redesign, but this would mean that users would essentially need to repurchase the whole controller again, and this would not give them very good value for money. And also, before you ask why the G40 or G70 controller could not be used, it is because these have the power unit in the base of the brewing system, which is not present in the G30. So the Gcast that you see me taking out of its box here is a bridging unit that takes in the Bluetooth signal from the G30's existing Bluetooth controller and transmits it back as Wi-Fi. All clever stuff, and as you can see, the Gcast itself is rather small and thus unobtrusive, so it can fit into anyone's brewing area, even my small bathroom. Also in the box is this USB lead, more on this shortly. Grainfather are very keen for all of its users to be using Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth these days, as they feel that this will enhance their user experience further. The core reason for this is quite simply that Wi-Fi is much more stable than Bluetooth. Grainfather has collected data and found that the majority of its app issues are down to a level of data corruption that is caused by the instability of Bluetooth. These problems are far less likely when Wi-Fi is used. Part of this instability is caused by the limited range of Bluetooth, so when switching to Wi-Fi, users will also enjoy an enhanced range, which is also much more effective when used in buildings with thick walls. In fact, if you wanted to, you could monitor a brew from an entirely different location too, so no problem in popping out at possible periods during the brew, and keeping a watchful eye via your mobile phone if you wish to. Further good news comes if you are a Tilt user, as the Gcast also works the same magic with the Tilt's Bluetooth feed and turns it into Wi-Fi for brewing on Grainfather's app globally. Another really nice feature is that the Gcast is also magnetic, meaning that it can attach to the outside of fridges or anything else within your area that is metal, tucking it out of the way nicely should you wish. As we have come to expect from Grainfather, setup of the Gcast is very easy. Supplied with the unit is a USB cable that will need to be powered, but in a very Apple-like way, Grainfather are not supplying a power brick. I would imagine that this is no issue for any of us these days, as we already have many of them from our mobile phones and so on. Alternatively, you could use a power bank or perhaps a USB from a computer if this suits you and your brewing situation better. Certainly something like this is not going to draw much power, of course. When you plug the Gcast in for the first time, you should see the front light flashing, suggesting that it is ready to be paired. If not, then there is a button on the side of the unit that allows you to reset. You can then open up your Grainfather app and add the device within your equipment page. You will then be asked to confirm your Wi-Fi network, and the app will take care of the connection for you. At this point, you can also change the name of your Gcast if you wish. Apart from Wi-Fi, another enhancement that Grainfather users have requested very frequently are improvements to the original grain basket plates supplied with the G30. Some have certainly struggled with the silicone edging coming off whilst adding them to the brewing system, and if you do not use the silicone, you are then likely to scratch the inside of your grain basket, and the fit will not be correct either. Grainfather's solution here is to bring in the higher quality design of plates that you will find on the Grainfather G40 and G70. I have to say that compared to the original plates, these new plates are a pretty massive improvement in quality and feel very nice in the hand. The edges themselves are rolled, providing a good and smooth surface, meaning that you will never need the silicone again. The experience that you will have with these will be the same one enjoyed with the G40 and G70, which is not only easier, but these plates are also much more rigid, so they protect against the warping that can be an issue with thinner gauge stainless steel plates, which leads to a bad fit. This is not such a big deal when it comes to the top plate, but when this occurs with the bottom plate, then this can lead to grain falling into your wort rather than staying in the grain basket where you want it. All in all, I believe that these are both great upgrades, and clearly they are in demand because the Grainfather G30 community requested them. They both give the G30 user the opportunity of upgrade without having to buy a whole new system too, which will certainly suit some these days when finances are strained as it is. I do hope that you found this video useful, informative and interesting. If so, why not consider liking and subscribing? For further support, you can join the channel's Facebook group, and if you would like to support the channel, then check out the channel's merchandise store, as all profits go back into the channel. Until next time, happy brewing!